Alright, here's a short video on 308 heads. These are some 308 heads that I went through, imported a long time ago, and have them sold to a fellow Mopar enthusiast. These things flow about 270. They're pretty stockish on the chambers. I want to say they're probably about 70. They've been polished or whatever. But anyways, that doesn't mean shit. Okay. 308 head. Open chamber head. This has got the roller pushrod tubes, so or tunnels, whatever lingo you want to use. But these have a bigger hole for the pushrod because there's a lot more movement this way with that 59-degree lifter angle. It's got the pushrod all cocked out, you know. So if you didn't have this kind of set of heads with the big holes, then you'd have to grind them out for room, for clearance, so your push rods didn't hit the heads. Now, this head basically... Okay, so the gist of it, these things come 72cc chamber. They produce them like 88 to 90 or 91, something like that. You know, maybe they cast them in 87 for 88, whatever. Those are the years these heads were out. The 302 head had the roller pushrod tubes first. Everything about this head is a J head except the pushrod pinch for these larger pushrod holes and the exhaust port. These are a smog head, so they have air injection. You'll see there's the air injection ports on this particular set. They've been blocked off. You can tap them and put set screws on the outside, and that's good enough. The benefit or the plus about these things, the cool part, is the floor, the short turn on the exhaust. It's pretty much, people like to use the term it's W2. Sure, whatever. It's got floor to it like they figured out with the W2s. It's a great head to modify. It's J intake port, J chambers, pushrod tube provisions. You can still get, 270 CFM or so out of these things is where I've taken them. I've not pushed to max them out. I know that these could be, or have heard, they are thinner casting, but I've not found water in them, nor do I intend to. So I think for a stock iron head, flowing like 215 on the exhaust and 275 on the intake's pretty fucking strong. Everything about these is LA. They are a shaft mount head. As you can see, there's the rocker stands, the shaft mount rockers. These are cut for a big double spring for a hydraulic roller that's going to be used, this particular setup. A lot of airspeed with those ports. They are compact, but they are shaped right, and that's what matters. And you do want lots of speed on the exhaust while wanting to control it on the intake when you start modifying and stuff. They're a great head. They're a real good set of heads. If you can find a set, probably the best start you'll find of all the factory heads, and then from there the X and the J's are very good. The X in particular is different, like I talked about in another video. The floor, the intake floor is a little different. And I'm going to show something here. So the guys that are modifying heads or people interested in that kind of stuff, just kind of want to point this out. I'll show you something. Now every intake port looks a little different. Every one, because they're cast a little different. And some of them have a lot more meat. Not this one, as you can see. These do. Than others. This has a lot more meat right here than this one. And as I belch, even if the material is not there to continue the full shape, you would be better off making the correct shape and stopping, even if it's a little lip right there, and then continuing at the areas that there's enough material. Wrap your mind around that. Don't smooth the whole thing over if you're really trying to dial them in to flow the same, or you're going for max flow. It might not seem right, but it is right. Okay, so these have hardened seats. The factory had a induction hardened seat, which is worth the shit. So you'll want to put seats in them, of course. This has got a 4-angle valve job on the exhaust, and I think I just did a 3 on the intake. Yeah, probably just a 3. Great head, easily identifiable. When you look at the exhaust flanges and see the holes here brought down. Early heads have that, but they do not have what looks like or appears to be a magnum style or shaped and spread exhaust port. That's pretty much it. That's the difference is the exhaust port, and there's some push rod tubes that are bigger. Otherwise, the intake port's a J port. The exhaust port is a hell of a lot better exhaust port than the old ones, and that's about it. I would definitely rather have this set of heads in particular, with the work done, than to have a pair of box stock Edelbrocks or Speedmaster heads. This head flows better than a Speedmaster and Edelbrock by far. It looks stock. You don't have to space any alternators. You don't have to do anything. You just put your engine together and you bolt all the factory type shit to it. And I like that about iron heads. That's why I do iron heads. It's also a brag. I'm a Mopar guy. Why do I run Mopar? Because they're fucking better. They're better than all the other guys. They came out with way better designs, and even their weak points don't hold them back from kicking ass. And if you know what you're doing, you can get around all that stuff anyways. So, a set of heads like this with a nice 500, 550 lift cam somewhere, 106 to... Well, you pick for what you're doing. It doesn't really matter. That part doesn't matter. But somewhere in the 5 to 550 flow range, these heads are going to shit all over Edelbrock or Speedmaster or any of that stuff. They're up there with shocker type heads. Those Pro Max, I guess it would be called. And, the trick flow will take you a little further, of course, because it flows up a little higher in the lift range, flows quite a bit more, 20 CFM, I think, perhaps. Depending on who's flowing them, there's a lot of tests out there that show they flow a lot less than what they're advertised. Another reason why I like just doing my own stuff. I know what I have, and they all flow within a few CFM of each other. You throw a set of heads like this on an engine with a good camshaft, 9.5 to 1 or better compression, some good exhaust, 750 carb. You're going to be making some really, really handsome power. I'll tell you that much. It always surprises people. Every time they take a ride in any of my cars with the iron stuff I do, they just can't fucking believe it, And I think the stock look is just really cool. Anyways.